Hello, everyone, and welcome to the quarterfinals of the Charlotte Open weekend here on the SCG Tour. Cedric Phillips and Craig Krempel's here in the booth. Nick Miller is down in the sideboard, checking out those feature matches. As you can see him behind Chris Castro Rappel, number 8 overall seed, playing Living End against Greg Gentile, number 1 overall seed, playing Eldrazi Tron. We are underway, and we are going to start things off with an Allspoy.
Oh, man.
Well, game 1 might not take too long, folks, with a Relic of Progenitus and a Chalice for 0 against Living End. This might be Chris's worst matchup.
Yeah, and Chris needs to get both of those cards off of the board. And he only has that one beast within in the main deck.
Yep, we might be in hard cast creatures mode. The old Deadshot Minotaur.
Okay.
So this is what he needs to have happen, right?
Yeah.
Which is Greg kept the land with very few lands. And now all of a sudden, maybe he doesn't draw a second land for that expedition map for a little while. Maybe we can get some things done here.
I'm a little surprised to see Chris not cycle anything there. This is such a tough spot for him. He has to start casting creatures. So to me, I'd want to keep cycling until I had a pretty good mass of lands in my hand. And he did not choose to cycle anything on turn 1.
Yeah, we got to play what we like to call a little bit of limited magic now with Living End, which is, all right, Desert Ceradon.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Deathshot Minotaur and friends. But you got to cycle some of those to be able to cast them. So for Greg, no land once again. Desert Ceradon, a new one from Amonkhet will be cycled. Wouldn't be afraid to cycle any Street Wraiths here, all that good stuff. Got to get to those lands to be able to cast those spells. Now, any main deck copies of Fulminator Mage here?
Yes, 2 copies.
Okay, all right.
Those would be spectacular to hit. Also, just it can start at 3 mana. He can start getting things on the board.
Now would be a great time for a Fulminator Mage. I will say that. Fair Macabre. Hey, Windrake, let's go.
Yeah, there's no shame here.
Yeah. Can't be too proud. Relic Progenitus is going to take care of Desert Ceradon. Greg will draw another expedition map.
Oh, what a tease.
Pass the turn back. Now, it's funny, is if Greg draws one of the Tron pieces he's missing, a mine or a power plant, Expedition Map finds the other one, all of a sudden he's got 7 mana.
Yep.
So he can break out of this pretty quickly. So, Chris, you better get moving.
Yeah, from 1 to 7 in just 2 turns.
Fairy Macabre in. Greg's going to fall down to 18. See if Chris has got another play here. It's a Grove of the Burn Willows.
Okay, do we have an Architect?
Oh, this will work.
We're going 5-drop.
All right, Street Wraith, we have our plan. We are going limited beatdowns, folks. Greg better draw a land real soon. I don't think that's a land.
This is unreal. And it was a Mind Stone, another tease.
Oh, my goodness. Chris is going to draw. He's got another Simian Spirit Guide, but more importantly, he's got another land to cast another Street Wraith. We're coming in for 5. Greg's going to fall down to 13. It might be time to blow that Relic.
Yeah, I think he has to cycle this Relic.
Blood Crypt's going to end the battlefield untapped.
Yeah, I think he had to actually cycle it last turn. As soon as the opponent starts playing 5-drops.
Oh, yeah. The big Ceradon will be hit with a Dismember, but Greg is going to have to pay 4 life to cast it, so he's going to fall down to 9. Is it a land? It needs to be right now. It is. This is unreal. Crack this. This game is over.
Yeah.
This game is over.
Well...
It kept an opening hand with Relic and Chalice game 1. Relic has not been killed. Chalice will never be killed. But what can stop Street Wraiths?
Yeah, man.
What can stop Street Wraiths? Nothing. Nothing can stop Street Wraiths as Chris Castro Rappel is going to win game number 1 here over Greg Gentile.
Greg understandably looks rather crestfallen here.
Living End up a game over Eldrazi Tron. This might be one of Eldrazi Tron's best matchups.
Yeah. I mean, and that start is an A+ start.
You keep every time.
Yeah, you're okay just missing 2 or 3 land drops. 1 or 2 land drops maybe.
When you go Relic plus Chalice, keep 1 lander, and then play Expedition Map, yeah, I'm going to keep.
Yeah.
And I'm going to win a high percentage of the time. That percentage, that 1 or 2%, well, that just came up this game.
It did.
To the sideboards we are going to go. We'll start with Greg, who is maybe he's running bad now all of a sudden. 3 Surgical Extraction, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Hangerback Walker. The one-ofs are Batterskull, Emrakul, the Promised End, Basilisk Collar, another copy of Chalice of the Void. That's the 4th one in the sideboard. Pithing Needle, Ratchet Bomb, Warping Whale, which can counter Living End, and a Platinum Angel.
Yeah, I expect this Warping Well to come in. I expect the Chalice of the Void to come in. It's going to be a little bit interesting. Surgical Extraction is not great against the Living End deck, but potentially he might want to bring in 1 or 2 copies depending on how many cards he wants to take out of his main deck.
Yeah, I think he's got enough bad cards to take out, right? And you're like, maybe all of Dust isn't that bad.
It's tough to say. This is a strange matchup, which we aren't super familiar with because they're 2 more fringe decks. You know, all its Dust does seem like it could have its spots where it's pretty good, but I can definitely see situations where it's just a big stinker as well.
It is very expensive.
Yes.
So it wouldn't surprise me if it's not great. That would make some sense to me. For Chris, who I'm sure can't believe he actually won Game 1, 3 Ricochet Trap, 3 Ingot Chewer, 2 Shriek Maw, 2 Dead Gone, 2 Fulminator Mage, 2 Beast Within, and a Brindle Boar. I like some of the things that Living End makes you do.
Oh, it's so great. Brindle Boar doesn't make my draft decks back in the day.
It's not a great card, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yep.
I think we probably see at least Ingot Chewer, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a ton of cards here. Some of his main deck cards, the main deck Fairy Macabres are not good against Eldrazi-tron. That's 4 easy cuts. The Architects of Will might come out. It depends. He might feel like it's okay if he's just a little bit slower and he cuts the Simian Spirit Guides. But he's got to bring in a ton of cards here. The Beast Within, the Ingot Chewers, we've talked about how it's necessary to always have an answer for Chalice of the Void unless the opponent never plays a second land.
True. Very true.
The Shriek Maw seems to line up quite well against all the Eldrazi. And Fulminator Mage obviously is great against any Tron-style deck.
Yeah. Oh, man, what a first game. What a first game. If you're Chris, you are on house money now.
Yeah.
But more importantly, if you're Chris, you get to play first Game 3, which could play a big role in things. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to pick up the second one.
Yep.
But at least you know there's going to be a third game and you'll get to play first.
Yeah, with the way he started, you were probably thinking I'm down a game and I got to try to win 2 after sideboard. Now, like I said, a little bit of house money here for Chris, so we'll see how things do go as Greg will be on the play. One last time, we're going to talk about that StarCityGames.com weekly sale, however, where you can get 15% off thousands of non-English cards like Firelit Thicket, Swords of Plowshares, Cabal Coffers, and a Life from Zelom. Go to StarCityGames.com/weekly sale. New weekly sale coming up for you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. East Coast time. If you like big cards, oversized cards, might want to check it out on Monday. Big cards.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Big cards. Big oversized cards. I'm not saying that's what we're going to do. I'm just saying if you like those, that's what you should
I'm still excited for this sale, though, man.
I know. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Cabal Coffers? Do you remember playing with Cabal Coffers?
I played against Cabal Coffers. I did not play with Cabal
No?
Coffers.
Oh, you were making a mistake.
I didn't. No, I wasn't.
That card was great.
I'm not doubting the power of Cabal Coffers, Craig. I preferred to cast Wild Mongrel and Arrogant Worm instead.
Cabal Coffers, great magic card. Fun magic card.
Pretty fun card.
It got paired up with Braids, Cabal Minion.
Sometimes, yeah.
Not a fun magic card.
Disagree. That is
fun for one player.
That is certainly my idea of fun.
Fun for one player.
Sometimes it's not fun for you. Sometimes things go wrong. But you get paired up with a little Corrupt, a little Soul Burn. Let's see, what else? Mutilate, and Nantuko Shade, Chainer's Edict, Innocent Blood.
Yep.
That's when my competitive days started.
You remember this.
The Mono Black deck, I keep wanting to call it Mono Black Devotion, even though it's not that. It's just Mono Black Control. And then there was Blue Green Madness, which was my favorite deck.
Sure.
And there was Psychotalk running around a little bit. And I think Mono Black was a deck when Wake was a deck too. I think those were in the same format. But I remember Mono Black very well during Odyssey Block.
I piloted a lot of Mono Black in that day.
Yeah?
Yeah, your opponent never misses a land drop.
Oh,
you play
dead.
Braids.
Yeah, that's game. That's game. You lose.
What a fun card.
Did you Rancid Earth people too? Were you that guy?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Turn 3, turn 4.
Yep. Rancid Earth Braid, see ya. Greg going to take a mulligan here. Things are not going his way right now. That is for sure. After losing that first game, now he's on his way to 6 cards while Chris is going to keep his 7. Not great. Yeah,
just one more land last game, though. One land.
The game's probably over,
completely
honestly.
Different game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he can mulligan into a very similar hand.
Even we don't have a great look at what his hand was because we were so focused on him just drawing a land.
Yes.
With the expedition map. But you have to imagine he had some sort of action that he would be able to cast because he gets to search for another land. Even if he found like a Ghost Quarter.
Yep.
That, you know, he gets to search Eldrazi Temple. Now Thought Knot Seer shows up.
Exactly,
or
yep.
whatever. But he couldn't find anything, and now he's looking at 6 cards. Looks like he's going to keep an Owl Scry.
Come on, Greg, help me out here. Sorry, Chris.
Well, there's a Tron piece. Here's an exhibition map. But it doesn't look like he has a Chalice.
Well, it's not even a rush to get the Chalice on the board.
Well, what I like about Chris's deck is that he's playing multiple copies of Simian Spirit Guide, so he can Living End maybe a little bit earlier than other Living End decks can.
Yes.
So that aspect of it's pretty nice. Well, there's that. There's Chalice. No more messing around. This is cycling a Horror of the Broken Lands. Time to draw a card. It's a swamp. We're untapping. And we're drawing.
Living End, man. The cards in the deck.
Only copy in day 2. Cycle Street Wraith. Drew a Living End.
Not where you want that card.
That part, not so much. Not so much. Cycle Horror of the Broken Lands. You gotta get used to these new cyclers. That and the Desert Ceradon. What cyclers did we lose now? I guess no more. I guess it's kind of nice you don't have to play the 2-mana cyclers.
Yeah,
like
that's exactly what you lost.
Valley Rannet and Jungle Weaver.
Exactly. Jungle Weaver.
Pale Recluse.
There's the land cyclers.
Yeah. Valley Rannet, Pale Recluse, Twisted Abomination some people played.
Yep.
Get them out of here. Now you're all 1-mana cyclers. Eldrazi Temple will be found here off of the Expedition map. So lucky drawing 2 lands this game.
Yeah, unreal.
Jeez.
Just running hot as the sun here.
Unbelievable.
We'll see if he's got Thought Knot Seer. Get on the board. Start putting his opponent on a clock here.
There's your Eldrazi Temple. Just passing. Cyclone Architects of Will. If you like the feeling of just adding a card to your hand, Cycle Street Wraith, another one, then Living End is the deck for you.
Or maybe Grixis Death Shadow.
There's also that one, too.
Yeah.
There's also that one, too. Violent Outburst, the draw. I don't think we've found an Ingot Chewer yet, though.
No, and Chris has to be a little bit careful that he doesn't walk right into the teeth of a Relic of Progenitus. He doesn't want to go too crazy making his graveyard big.
Copperline Gorge, the land for the turn.
Oh, Greg, what are we doing here?
We got to have some sort of action. There's a tower.
All right.
Reality Smasher, perhaps? Yes. Beatdowns. Here we go. Chris going to fall down to 11. Finally got a clock here. Desert Ceradon, you go in the graveyard. Draw a card. Desert Ceradon, you go in the graveyard. New card. Where are you, Ingot Chewer?
Yeah, Ingot Chewer into Living Death right here would just be ridiculous.
That's game over.
Yes.
Mountain is not Ingot Chewer.
And Chris has had a lot of time here to go looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, we got some more?
It's got Tron online if he wants it. There we go. 5 more. Nope. Just kidding.
The pump fake.
Just kidding. There we go. Reality Smasher in for 5. Chris down to 6. Big follow-up. Let the carnage begin.
I don't even know what you do with Karn on this board.
I probably just ice a land because my opponent has so many cards in hand that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but icing a land doesn't matter a whole lot either.
No, neither is good. Karn is actually pretty mediocre in this spot.
I mean, if he slammed it on turn 3, I could see it being dangerous.
It's awesome then.
But yeah, the mid-game Karn in this matchup is not exciting.
All right, there's a Copperline Gorge. There's a Battlefield tap. Pass the turn back over to Greg. Greg's going to draw. Another Reality Smasher will close the game out right now. This Reality Smasher might only knock Chris down to 1, however. Even Walking Ballista would do it.
Yep, that'd be a good one.
In for 5. Chris is down to 1. Karn. Just going to try to cut off some lands here, it looks like. Now, if you were you, would you cast a Violent Outburst? Would you check?
I just feel him out.
Yes. I mean, if you're gonna lose, might as well try. What's the? Uh-oh, is this another card? This is another card. This is bad news for Greg.
Yeah, another Karn would be great.
6 mana. Chalice on, I think that's 3. Which doesn't do, it counters Beast Within.
Yeah, it stops Beast Within. But I think it should have just been another. Oh, he can't play another Chalice.
He can't play another on 0. If he was able to play it for 5, which would be 10 mana, that stops Ingot Chewer.
Sure.
So that would have been an option. I don't know if he had enough mana to do that or not. Either way, Greg Gentile is going to win game number 2 here against Castro Rappel.
We're back in it, Cedric.
We sure are. I know your pick of Eldrazi Tron against Living End. And we're just going to see if Greg can go the distance here. As Chris cycled a bunch, but he could not find an Ingot Chewer. And so now we're going to play a third and final game. And to note, if he's got the Shriekmaws in, which I think he should, because they kill all the Eldrazi, he wasn't able to find one of those either.
Yep.
To slow down the Reality Smasher. So
yeah, he didn't see a Fulminator Mage, no Beast Within. Just really, he looked at a lot of cards that game and didn't find any help.
we do have one match result for you, because the very well-dressed Todd Stevens had a big smile on his face. He's done it. He's done the impossible. He has broken the quarterfinal streak. He beat Travis Speth. Eldrazi Tron moves on, takes care of one of the many Grixis Shadow decks in the top 8.
I hope he thanks me.
Oh, this is on you now.
I picked the man.
You did, so he should thank you. I'll let Todd know that he should thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I did this for him.
I got it.
He needed this.
Finally off the schneid into the semifinals is the very well-dressed Todd Stevens. So congratulations to him. He'll play the winner of Evan Whitehouse and Andrew Jessup here in just a moment as we see if we can find some more match results. But while we wait, let's talk about the StarCityGames.com YouTube page, shall we, where you can go back, you can watch replays of this tournament.
Who wouldn't want to do that?
Right, because we've had some awesome matches to watch. You can go watch Split Second, hosted by Star City's own Jeremy Knoll. You can watch the Versus Series with Brad Nelson, Todd Anderson, Tom Ross Merriam, who's in the top 8 here this week, and Michael Majors. We got Commander Versus with Jeremy Knoll, the American Dream, Stephen Green. John Suarez, who I know is watching, so I hope he can feel the distaste in my voice. And Justin Parnell, who I'm a huge fan of. Huge fan.
You were just
huge fan of. Magic Online playtesting, Jerry Thompson, R.A. Lack, Sean McLaren.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. You're a little bit sweet, a little bit sour over here.
Yeah, it's up and down. It's like
just
a roller coaster.
Spreading it around.
It's the best of the SCG Tour as well. YouTube.com/StarCityGames. Become one of over 117,000 subscribers. We got our other results here because this quarterfinals, they're moving. Greg, excuse me, Craig, not Greg. Let me go and fix this. Craig.
You called me Greg?
Craig picked Evan Whitehouse, but Andrew Jessup won 2-0. So
is this the first time you've met me?
There goes your flawless victory streak.
Yeah, I went 5 for 7 2 weeks ago.
And as for Ross Merriam, he was able to dispatch Mark Stanton. So, folks, we are down to only one Grixis Death Shadow deck.
And this is moving along quickly here.
We are moving and grooving. It's game number 3 between Greg, not Craig, and Chris. Will be underway here in just a moment. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm actually, every time we come back from a commercial break and introduce ourselves, I've had to think about not saying Patrick Sullivan all 15 times today. I'm dead serious.
Well, Nick Miller dinged me with it 2 weeks ago.
Did he?
During the exit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah. Every time I'm just like Cedric Phillips and Craig Krempels here in the booth. Just have to, my brain's hardwired. It's hardwired.
Patrick Sullivan, that's what everyone else wants, right?
But yeah, here we go.
I don't blame him.
At least I haven't said Greg until just now. So that's good.
Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Big favor.
A Desert Ceraton is what Chris is cycling. For Greg, he started off with just an Urza's Power Plant. So no Chalice, no Relic to start here for Greg. I'm curious what the hand is. Here's another Blackleaf Cliffs for Chris. I think it might be a Tron hand.
It better be a Tron hand.
Yeah, I agree, because if he's keeping a hand with no interaction, it better have Tron in it. Going to cycle a Horror of the Broken Lands, and now cycle an Architects of Will.
And even if it is a Tron hand, he better have a Warping Wail here, or he's in a whole boatload of trouble anyway.
Warping Wail would make some sense if he kept that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, mama.
Can't Warping Wail that. Which land you want to kill? Power plant or mine, Craig?
What's your favorite artwork?
I don't like either one of those, actually. But if I had to pick one, I kind of want to go towards the power plant.
So do you pick off your favorite artwork?
Yes. I love this. Rolling dice is great. Yes. Who knows?
Was that for the match?
Yeah. Stop.
Did they both just get disqualified here?
Bad roll. Bad roll.
Yeah.
Bad roll.
Just terrible decision by Chris there.
Really bad. You got to get a read on your opponent that they've got another of the same piece.
Yeah, he could have rolled so much better there.
But here we are now. Punt it again. Here's a Bloodstained Mire. Got to be worried about Warping Whale because it can counter sorceries. It's kind of like the hidden mode on that card. Now you can see Chris's hand. He does have a Violent Outburst in hand. He's going to pass the turn back. So surgical. Okay.
Okay, and we weren't sure if he was going to bring this card in. And this is why. You see here, all right, he's got 4 different creatures in this graveyard. Does it really matter which one you get?
So yeah, this is interesting because if Greg doesn't have a Warping Wheel, you have to imagine he kept a hand with Warping Wheel, right? He's got no Chalice, no Relic.
I would have to think Warping Well is going on here. Otherwise, he's just asking for it. And even if he has one, he's in a position where he has to have Tron to start casting spells because he has to leave the mana up for the Warping Well basically for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's very true. So Fulminator Mage is the weapon of choice here for Greg. And you can see Warping Whale. Exile target creature with power or toughness, 1 or less. That comes into play a lot with Legacy. With various creatures. That's why that card's good in Legacy Eldrazi. Counter target sorcery spell. Living End, even though it can be cast at instant speed via Violent Outburst, it's still a sorcery. And then, of course, you can make a little Eldrazi sign if you like. And Greg decided to go after Fulminator Mage, so he's going to pull the rest of those out of Chris's deck.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that guy anymore. Only 40 more creatures to worry about.
All right, no more Fulminator Edges.
Yeah.
Gone.
All right, Greg, let's have the Tron here. Let's have that Warping Whale. I mean, if he misses a land drop, Chris can just beast within one of his lands, untap, and resolve.
Resolve Living End.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's Beast Within. Going to go after that same piece. Going to give a 3/3 Todd Anderson. So Todd's on the loose.
No accents this time.
No, no accents. No accents. Keep it on the straight and narrow now. Boom. There we go.
Nothing like instant speed Stone Rains.
All right, there's Cavern of Souls. We'll see what this is naming. We've seen it named Construct, and we have seen it name Eldrazi over the course of this weekend, so we'll get confirmation on that in a second. Demonic Dread the draw. And Greg opted to name Construct.
And now Living End is a position where he can try to go off twice.
Yeah, all in one turn.
One turn, end of the turn, and then on his turn, it doesn't matter.
So here's a Violent Outburst on upkeep. A play that I kind of like. I'm going to go by Shriek Maws, which he brought in. See a couple copies of Desert Pterodon, who are the Broken Land, Street Wraith. There's the Ingot Chewers, which we knew we'd see.
It's in there somewhere.
Where are you? There you are. Well, is it going to resolve? All right, there's the Warping Wheel. That we were pretty sure Greg had and kept the hand with. That would make a lot of sense.
But countering one is not going to be nearly enough here.
Correct.
There's another one right behind it.
Now, here's the scary situation, because you are right. There is another one right behind it. However, you do draw a card.
Yeah, we have to make sure Greg drew a card for his turn.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he drew a card for his turn. I don't think that he did, because this was an upkeep.
Correct.
This was upkeep on his upkeep Violent Outburst plus Living End, so I think that's why you see him calling a judge. But the point that I want to make is that, yes, we have another Living End coming up via Demonic Dread, most likely. If his draw step is Living End, we do not.
Sure.
He has a Living End in his hand. He's only playing 3 copies, of course.
Well, and the other potential problem is a cranial extraction.
Or a surgical.
Surgical
Yeah,
extraction. That's
yeah.
why. Yeah. But this game has started so slow for Greg, and Chris is at the position where he can just start hard casting fatties again.
Much like game 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll fix this. Greg just forgot to draw his card for the turn.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is just unbelievable. This match is...
We are really watching something. Pretty important draw step.
Yeah.
Pretty important draw step. Yeah.
Good thing you didn't miss that one.
Yeah. Boy. This game just got a little bit harder for Chris.
Well, Chris does have another Beast Within in his hand, so he has an answer for that, but it gives Greg a whole nother turn.
Does he have another Beast Within?
I believe he had 2 Beasts Within in his hand when we saw the surgical extraction.
All right, we'll have to take a better look. If he's got another Beast Within, the problem, there's no real problem here. Just not positive if he does or doesn't. All right, time to untap. Ban, draw. Architects of Will. Yeah, I don't think there's... I know there's a Demonic Dread.
Yep.
There's a Living End. He just drew an Architects. I'm not positive if there's another Beast Within over there. What I do know is that he's taking 3 damage. What's this? An Expedition map. Okay.
Would have been more exciting as a relic.
Very true. All right, there's the Beast Within you mentioned.
Yep.
Goodbye, Chalice. Chris, don't draw a Living End.
I mean, he could still suspend it.
Ugh.
And just wait a couple of turns.
And be dead?
And be dead.
Yeah, and take 6 a turn? Nah.
Well, it would be suspended. The next turn he could deploy a creature.
He made it. He did not draw it. It's time for Demonic Dread, folks.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one.
Now, one thing you can do, I learned this one from very popular Magic and Lunch streamer, Michael Jacob, is once you cascade into Living End, you put Living End on the stack, then you can start cycling.
Yep.
So he's going to hit a Living End, and then he can put Living End on the stack, says from Cascade, yes, I'm going to cast this, and hold priority, and cycle the Architects of Will that he has in his hand, and maybe hit another cycler as well.
And that just protects him from drawing the Living End.
Exactly.
Yep.
Where are you? There you are. Now, is that a trick that Chris knows? We'll see, but it does allow him to get another creature into the graveyard. Yes, he does. He's not in the top 8 on accident.
We like it.
Draw a card. Simian Spirit Guide. All right, no more cycling, but it's another creature. So, those beast tokens. See you later. All these creatures entering the battlefield. 2 Architects of Will, a Horror of the Broken Lands, and a Desert Ceradon. There will be 2 Architects of Will triggers, so we'll take a look at that card very quickly for those of you unfamiliar.
Which, that's me. I'm one of those people.
Yeah, you get to take a little look at somebody's. Look at the top 3 cards of either your deck or your opponent's deck and rearrange them. That's what you're going to see Greg doing here first. The top 3 cards, target player's library, put them back in any order. You get to cycle it. Pretty cool card. Artifact creature during the Esper days. Shards of Alara.
Limited stinker.
Not great. Cycling's good.
Yep. Cycling's fine.
4 mana 3/3. Not great and limited. I don't remember if that was really powerful back in the day or not. Seems like, I mean, it's a hill giant. That's kind of hard to cast, but it being an artifact creature was nice.
Sure. And if you're Greg, yeah, you got to sack this in the upkeep. You don't want to draw whatever stinker he left for you.
Yep. Did want to know what they were, though. I can appreciate that.
Looked like one was the relic.
Yeah. Sweet. You can have that, man. Living End showing a little bit of resiliency here, folks. Able to work itself through Chalice and Relics and everything else.
Yeah, come on, Greg. Draw step every turn.
It's the best part of Magic. Drawing a card every turn. Don't forget.
So now his outs are take 16, assemble Tron, and have all his dust?
I think it's going to be more than 16, though.
Well, if Chris has a cycler, it ends the game.
It's a cycler, or it's a copy of Violent Outburst.
Violent Outburst would also do it.
That can do it, too. In we go. 6, 10, 16, cycle. And that's it. Chris Castro Rappel is going to win this match here over Greg Gentile 2-1. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Living End is going to take care of Eldrazi Tron and move on to the semifinals.
I don't like it.
I can't believe it.